Hello and welcome to my channel on human design. Well, we've got a fine set of questions from viewers and we're going to get cracking straight away from a question by YouTubo Junk. And the question is, my question is about resonance and harmony. I keep hearing about this, but don't understand what it means. Is this something to do with gates, channels, only used with couple or group analysis? Well, YouTube Junk, it is a primary part of the foundation knowledge that's brought into the Rave ABC courses. And it's related to lines, to the lines. There are 6 lines in every hexagram, and they have a relationship between one another. If it's harmonic, it means it's kind of a good fit in a way. So that would be the 1 and the 4, the 2 and the 5, the 3 and the 6. So those are harmonic. So if there's a line harmonic, it can be something that is felt as being harmonic, as felt as being good. It can be sometimes, especially in the 2-5, it can be something that happens very smoothly. Not necessarily that with the 3 and the 6, but there's a connection, a harmonic and usually seen as a positive connection between those 2 lines. If it's resonant, it means it's the same thing. So line 1 and then someone else has line 1, or line 5 and someone else has line 5. They are resonant. They are a match to one another. In that sense, when you think about a gate looking to the other side and the other gate looking for the line to connect to, it would be a resonant or a harmonic line. But if you think in terms of those 2 options, you're going to get a better idea of how it turns out. And my advice is to experiment in your own life when you meet such a thing. If it's let's say it's a 2 and a 4, then it's not harmonic. Or if it's a 1 and a 3, it's not harmonic. So this is something called dissonance. And there's usually some lessons to be learnt, some grit to be examined, or there can be some trouble, there can be some disagreement in that. There isn't always, it depends what the learning is, it depends where you are in your state and where the other one is. So there you go. You've got the harmonics, and you've got the resonance, and you've got the dissonance. So that's just a quick overview on a YouTube video. If you want to know more, then look at the Rave ABC information. Thank you for the question. Our next question comes from Miskelada. And Miskelada asks, "Oh, my Buddha, Richard, in your different answers, you put me onto something. I have a conscious 39-6 in my North Node. I'm coming up to Uranus opposition in June 25. In my Uranus opposition, I have the 55 line 2 in the North Node. And if that wasn't enough, my unconscious sun is in my birth chart in 49-1. So I have an emotional center undefined, and I need to say, without people around me or some transit in 19 or 55, I am a quiet lake. When I'm around many people, I need to have my time afterwards to get to my normal energy. The emotional mountains are just too much for me, so I would love so much if collectively come together to something more aware and less crazy drive. That's a dream coming true indeed for me." It's not really a question, but if you have something to add, of course, it is more than welcome. So Miss Galada, I have a completely open emotional system. I understand what it is to enjoy the quietness of being alone. And I value that. And I enjoy that a lot of my time, and I really enjoy it. But you've got to learn how to navigate. You've got to learn to see that whatever is going on with the other in their natural emotional waves, that is for them to experience. And we will take it in. That doesn't mean we have to react to it. So it isn't easy when you're in a large crowd of people. I completely understand wanting to come back and, settle, come to your own natural point of balance. when you're not taking in those energies. The only thing I would add is that, you know, we're here to be wise in that field. We're here to learn about it. And so in that sense, it is necessary for us to learn to engage in it, to have contact with it. And don't forget, the emotional system is also a center for pleasure. So, you know, the giggles and the excitement and the, you know, the unexpected explosions can also be part of an exciting life. We don't want to cut it all out. We don't want to block it off forever because it's conditioning. No, we're here to take it in, but still make our correct decisions. We're here to take it in and learn from it. We're to take it in and examine it in our own experience in only the way that we can do. You know, when you have filters on it, you're filtering through that particular thing, and you're going to filter all emotional energy through that particular thing, through, in this case, the 49-1 and all the different 55s you're going to meet along the way. You know, I mean, you're going to attract them because that's what you're looking at. It's going to happen. And it's to accept that it's going to happen and find out a lot about the 55. In finding out about the 55 too that's coming up in the nodal path, you know, you're really going to be able to see both the distrust, you know, can you trust this person to do what they say they know how to do? Because it doesn't look like it. The projection is it doesn't look like it in the line of distrust in the 55 line too. And maybe that's correct, but maybe it isn't. Maybe they do know what they're doing. They just don't look as if they do. It's a projection. So it's going to be teaching you about emotional projection and among other things. It's also got many gifts in it, that one. So we're here to learn what we're here to learn, and the planets will bring that to us to learn. And it's obviously the important one because it's coming up in your notes. So enjoy your quiet, enjoy your peace, and understand that part of being you is to engage with the emotionals when it's appropriate, when it's correct for you to do. And it's not to be avoided simply because they're emotional. We will miss out on so much if that happens. Okay, well, thank you for the question. I hope my little adage was useful. Our next question is from Madame Marie 32. Great names, eh? And the question is, my question is about the 6th line mutation. I'm a 4-6 projector, and Ra talks about the struggles and the pain of carrying the 6th line profile since we carry the mutation in our body and how hard that can be on us. But I still don't understand what he means by mutation. Mutation how exactly? Mutating what? Well, Madame Marie, it's your mutation. The 6 lines have a long maturing process. And they start out going through that 3rd stage, you know, through the trial and error period, and at the same time they're trying to reach to perfection and they're not ready yet, and they try to live it anyway. And that often brings with it a lot of hypocrisy. You know, do as I say, not as I do. It can be a very subjective and heavy time in the first part. In the second part, it's more objective. And it's still that time when you get to see what really works for you, what is really in alignment with your true design or not. It gives you the chance in the objectivity to be authentic or not. And you've still got time till you get to Chiron. When you get to Chiron, the time runs out. You know, you either move into your life authentically, you're either, you know, straight in your truth, speaking from you as a role model of yourself, no one else, you know, sharing your own understanding, being your own self, even if others don't like it. You know, that's what it means to mutate, to get to that point where you are transcendent, not merely subjective or objective, but transcendent of it all. At the end of the day, the sixth lines are here to be an example of their own unique authenticity. And it's really part of your framework to get there. And yes, it can be hard. You know it can be hard for the body in the first 30 years. All kinds of physical things can happen, bruises and bone breaks and all kinds of things from, the trial and error process they go into, broken trust issues, all the rest of it. It's mutating beyond that. It's mutating to a point of the transition into being yourself, and being yourself no matter what. It's a matter of being. And the perfection there is the perfection of you simply being yourself authentically. That's a mutation. And it's part of the sixth line process to get there. The other profiles, it's not such a big deal. I mean, yes, we all want to live truly according to who we are, but the six lines have to really be it. And in being it, people can see it, and it helps them to measure their own authenticity. It helps them to meet something that is really solid. It is a role model. It is a one-off. So that's how I interpret it. Hope that's been helpful. And the next question is from Alves, or Alz, I'm not sure how you pronounce it. And his question is, a question appeared in my head right today at the start of the video when you were reading the first question. The words work and creating appear a lot in HD. Like generators are here to work, create, other types are not, etc. Well, I wouldn't necessarily say that. I mean, every type can be creative. But how can we as individuals understand work according to HD? We usually have an idea as humans of what work is. For some people, their jobs may feel like work. For others, maybe it doesn't. For some, taking care of the house or doing something that needs to be done might feel like work. For others, maybe not. For some, doing crafts might be their job. For others, it might be a hobby. So can we say that we would be burnt out or not burnt out depending on what we ourselves see as being work? Also, I might like my job, thankfully, but it still gets me tired and I still don't see it as a hobby, even though I enjoy it. So basically, how could we define work in HD? And what would be the difference between working in a job we like or doing a hobby we like? On the other side, an activity that is usually seen as a hobby might be tiring and boring for some people, and it might take their energy away. Could that activity be seen as work for those people? Well, that is a long question, but basically it's around work. So I see work as things being done, because afterwards, when we talk about generators, it's the use of their energy. So work for them that's correct for them is something that they love to do. And when they love to do it, the energy that responded to doing it will respond to keep on doing it. Therefore, it's not going to be felt as work because the energy is there to do it, whatever it is, whether it's a day job, whether it's a hobby. People can look in and say, there's someone working, but actually they're just using their energy in a way that is natural and easy for them to use it. When we come to the non-sacrals, there isn't the energy available for whatever it is they may want to do, whether it's being at a job they enjoy, whether it's to do a hobby, whether it's to clean the house. They may not have the energy to do any of it. So for them, doing can be work. I've spent time around manifestors where simply walking up the stairs is work because they don't want to move. And I mean manifestors, not necessarily projectors, but the same thing for projectors or reflectors. Just moving can be work if they don't have the energy, they don't have much energy in them. So that's what I have to say about that. It's the use of energy. And when a generator has energy for something, it isn't work. I mean, they get paid for it, fantastic, but if they love it enough, they'd do it anyway. For non-sacrals, it's really about them working to the extent, them doing something when they've got the energy to do it, and not when they don't. And you can measure the work for the non-sacrals and indeed for the sacrals in terms of resistance. You know, if a generator loves what they do and then, you know, for whatever reason, maybe the job changes and they're put into something else, maybe they're not using the energy in exactly the same way, and they don't like it anymore, they're going to meet resistance. And for non-sacrals also, when they're trying to force themselves through the workday, you know, they've had enough, they don't want to do anymore, they wanted to go home at 10 o'clock in the morning, here they are still at 3:30, counting the minutes until 5, you know. This is resistance, this is weathering it, this is plodding on and getting caught in the slave game. So think about resistance when you think about work, and hopefully that's given another insight into the way that the types also view it. So in your particular case, you love the work that you're doing, but it still feels like work because you don't want to be working as much as is expected if you're a non-sacral, and they expect you to be there 5 days a week. Well, 2 days a week would be much better. Then you'd really, you know, you'd be glad to be there and be involved with the people, you know, for the 2 days, and then you can come away and have your life. You know, it's probably a matter of quantity of time that can be felt as work for a projector. Anyway, those are my in-the-moment thoughts. I hope that's helpful. Thanks for the question. Okay, our final question is from Scarlett, and Scarlett asks, "Hi Richard, I'm having trouble understanding that there won't be any more transformation possible starting Feb 2027. Does that mean the Rave children don't need transformation? Does it mean everyone else becomes stuck where they are? Will we need a new way of reading charts with the emotional wave changing or becoming less volatile?" So many questions. Thank you for your wonderful presence and availability to the public. You're very welcome, Scarlett. You're very welcome. Transformation is part of life because the only thing that never changes is change. There's ongoing transformation. You know, if you're in your life, there's ongoing transformation. So I don't know about transformation not happening after 2027. I didn't, I'm sure I didn't say that. So I'm not too sure how that understanding came about. It could be that you're thinking of the future and the 3635, the human experiential way leaving. And if that's what you're referring to, well, yes, that is going. So it's not going to be really about the human way anymore. And we know that the Raves coming isn't about going out there, climbing every mountain, having this experience, having this feeling, you know, changing it and finding out something else. No, the Raves will be in their own hive, and they won't look as if they're doing anything. And yet there will be a great lot of things going on in the filtering of the frequencies and the growing of their intelligence. But it's not going to be about experience. It's a completely different focus. That doesn't mean that the humans born before 2027 won't continue to live their life as humans and continue to have new experiences and transform in that. The children born after 2027, though, they're not going to want those experiences that we wanted from this side of the fence, if you like. It's not going to be the same thing. There is a strong sexual energy in the 3635 as well. And so it also means that that desire stream is not going to be there. That sexual desire stream is not going to be there. It's not going to be experienced in the way that we've experienced it up to now. That doesn't mean there isn't going to be transformation. I mean, you can think about this in different ways. You can think about it in the near future anyway. For humans, you can think about it as, well, I don't have to have the experience. All I have to do is put on these AI goggles and I'm going to be in another world having experiences, you know, fighting dragons in my own living room. You can think about it like that in one way. If I'm right about the emotional system and the way it's going to take us deeper into the awareness, the humans as well, those that are emotional, it will be much more of an inner experience. So we're kind of going to a deeper level now, and the potential for, or I believe the potential for human beings to operate at a deeper level is going to be a profound transformation in the way that we deal with ourselves and the way that we deal with others. But we're going to have to find out what that means in examples as we get there. I could draw analogies between someone who has had a traumatic experience and they've gone through it and they've processed it and they've lived through it and they've got beyond it, to someone who's just heard about it and has no understanding what it's really about. You know, when you meet such a person, all they have to do is just look at you with a certain look, and no more words are necessary, because you haven't gone through it, and they know that, and you seeing that look also realizes that. So there's many ways of looking at it, but as far as I'm concerned, transformation doesn't end. Here we are contemplating this now, in this time. So just think about that. We're talking about it now. There's a lot of things that can happen between now and then. And I think you'll see some of the pathways opening up, which will make it clearer to you. I think it's also possible that there will be a deeper connection in human beings, a more inner directed way that leads to states within, rather than going out, rather than seeking out there new experiences, that there is actually more than enough going on inside. And the connectivity of that, we're going to have to see, but it ain't over. So yeah, it's not the end of transformation. It's the end of the human experiential way. But humans will continue to evolve, in my view. So that's what I have to say on that one. And that was quite a bag of questions, wasn't it? Hope you all enjoyed that. I did. And if you did, please like, share, and subscribe. And I'll be back again very soon with something completely different. See you then. Bye.